February 5th. Circle that date on your calendar right now because that's when everything changes for the Los Angeles Lakers. We're 11 days away from the trade deadline, and I'm sitting here watching the entire landscape shift beneath our feet in ways nobody expected just 2 weeks ago. Welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, your direct connection to everything happening inside and around our beloved purple and gold. I'm here to bring you the latest updates, the insider movements, and the analysis you won't find anywhere else. And trust me when I say this, what I'm about to break down today will completely change how you view Rob Pelinka's strategy heading into this deadline. Let me paint you a picture. The Lakers are sitting at a crossroads right now, and every single decision being made in the next 10 days will shape not just this season, but potentially the next 3 years of this franchise. We're talking about LeBron James still operating at an elite level, Anthony Davis playing some of the best basketball of his career, and a supporting cast that has shown flashes of brilliance but still lacks that one critical component. You know what I'm talking about, right? That 3-and-D wing who can lock down perimeter scorers while spacing the floor on offense. It's the piece we've been searching for all season long. Now here's where things get interesting. The NBA trade market operates like a complex ecosystem, and right now, we're watching prices fluctuate in real time. Players who were considered affordable options just 3 weeks ago are suddenly seeing their value skyrocket. Teams that were quiet are now aggressively pursuing the same targets. And the Lakers, with their limited assets, are finding themselves in an increasingly difficult position. But before I get into the specifics of what's happening behind the scenes, you need to understand the broader context of how Rob Pelinka is approaching this deadline. Los Angeles has essentially one first-round pick available to move right now. It's either the 2031 or 2032 selection, and management has been extremely protective of it. Why? Because they're playing chess while some other teams are playing checkers. The organization knows that come this summer, they could potentially unlock up to 3 first-round picks alongside an estimated $50 million in cap space. That's a massive amount of firepower to reshape this roster, to potentially land a legitimate third star, to build something sustainable for the long term. So using that pick now in a seller's market where prices are inflated requires absolute certainty that you're getting the right player at the right value. And this is where our story really begins. Sacramento Kings guard Keon Ellis has been one of the names consistently linked to the Lakers over the past few weeks. For those who haven't been tracking him closely, Ellis is exactly the type of player we need. He's 26 years old, plays elite perimeter defense, has strong catch-and-shoot numbers from three-point range, and brings the kind of gritty, hard-nosed mentality that translates perfectly to playoff basketball. His defensive metrics are off the charts. We're talking about a guy who can genuinely move his feet, fight through screens, and make life miserable for opposing guards and wings. On paper, Ellis seemed like the perfect target for a Lakers team operating with financial constraints. He's young enough to be part of the future, but experienced enough to contribute immediately. His skill set complements both LeBron and AD beautifully. You slot him into that starting lineup or bring him off the bench, and suddenly you've got another legitimate defender to throw at players like Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or Devin Booker in playoff matchups. The fit was obvious, the need was clear, and the assumption was that Sacramento might be willing to move him for reasonable compensation. But here's the thing about the NBA trade market. Assumptions mean absolutely nothing. What matters is reality, and the reality right now is that Keon Ellis has become one of the hottest commodities available before the deadline. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this. According to multiple league sources, approximately 10 teams are actively pursuing Ellis right now. 10 teams, that's not a quiet market, that's a bidding war. And when you've got 10 teams competing for the same player, basic economics tells you exactly what happens to his price. Sacramento has completely shifted their asking price. What might have been a second-round pick and a rotation player a month ago has now escalated to a late first-round pick. That's a significant jump, and it's exactly the kind of inflation that complicates things for a team like the Lakers who can't afford to overpay. Rob Pelinka and the Lakers brass have checked in, made their interest known, and explored what a potential deal might look like. But when the price tag suddenly includes that precious first-round pick we've been so carefully guarding, the calculation changes entirely. Here's what makes this situation even more fascinating. Despite all this league-wide interest, despite Ellis's obvious talent and perfect fit for modern NBA basketball, Sacramento head coach Doug Christie hasn't been playing him. In the last two games, Ellis didn't see the floor at all. Not garbage time minutes, not a brief rotation stint, nothing. For a team that's going nowhere this season, for a franchise that just brought in a new coaching staff with a defensive identity mandate, benching your best perimeter defender makes absolutely zero sense. It's the kind of disconnect that usually signals one thing: a trade is imminent. But that disconnect hasn't cooled the market. If anything, it's intensified it. Teams across the league see a talented 3-and-D guard who's fallen out of favor with his current coach and think they can be the ones to unlock his full potential. They're not worried about why Sacramento isn't playing him. They're focused on what he can do when given consistent minutes and a defined role. And that's driving his value even higher. The Lakers are now forced to make a critical decision. Do you enter a bidding war for Keon Ellis, potentially surrendering that first-round pick for a player who addresses an immediate need but might not be a game-changing acquisition? Or do you hold firm, protect your assets, and continue searching for alternative options? It's the kind of decision that defines front office excellence or exposes front office limitations. And Ellis isn't operating in a vacuum here. The Lakers have been connected to a wide range of wing targets in recent weeks. Names like Herb Jones from New Orleans, Trey Murphy III, DeAndre Hunter from Atlanta, Miles Bridges in Charlotte, even Andrew Wiggins from Golden State. Each of these players brings something different to the table. Each comes with a different price tag, and each presents unique challenges in terms of acquisition. But there's one name that keeps surfacing more persistently than all the others: Jonathan Kuminga. The Golden State Warriors forward has been in a deteriorating situation with his current team, and the Lakers are among several franchises closely monitoring how that relationship evolves. Kuminga represents a different tier of talent compared to Ellis. We're talking about a player with legitimate all-star upside, someone who's still just 22 years old with enormous physical tools and room to grow. The Kings are apparently the most aggressive suitor, but the Lakers, Dallas Mavericks, and Chicago Bulls all have varying degrees of interest. The challenge with Kuminga is twofold. First, Golden State has made it abundantly clear they're not interested in the kind of packages the Lakers can currently offer. They don't want Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, and draft compensation that doesn't move the needle for a franchise still trying to maximize Steph Curry's remaining elite years. Second, any deal would likely require a complex three-team structure to satisfy everyone involved, which exponentially increases the difficulty of getting something done before the deadline. So here's where we stand with just over a week remaining. The Lakers need perimeter help desperately. That's not up for debate. Watch any game where we face elite offensive guards or wings and you see the limitations. But the pathways to acquiring that help are narrowing by the day. Ellis's price has spiked beyond what seems reasonable for his production level. Kuminga requires creativity and assets that might exceed what we're willing to surrender. The other wing options come with their own complications, whether it's injury history, contract situations, or simply not being available at any price. One Western Conference general manager recently described the Lakers' approach perfectly. They're searching for value in a market where value is increasingly difficult to find. They might discover an opportunity if they're willing to take on longer-term salary commitments, but that player has to fit seamlessly with LeBron and AD to justify the investment. It's a delicate balance between addressing immediate needs and maintaining future flexibility. This is the reality of operating as the Los Angeles Lakers. Every move is scrutinized, every decision carries massive implications, and the margin for error is razor-thin when you're trying to maximize a championship window with two generational talents. Rob Pelinka knows this. The coaching staff knows this. And increasingly, as we approach February 5th, the options are becoming clearer even as they become more expensive. Now, I want to be completely honest with you as a Lakers fan who lives and breathes this team every single day. Part of me looks at the Keon Ellis situation and thinks we should just pay the price. Yes, a late first-round pick is valuable. Yes, we're protective of our future assets. But we also have LeBron James and Anthony Davis right now playing at extremely high levels, and we're wasting possessions and games because we can't consistently defend the perimeter or space the floor properly. Ellis would immediately address both of those issues. He's not a perfect player, but he's exactly what we need in this moment. On the other hand, I completely understand the hesitation. If we surrender that first-round pick for Ellis and then watch 10 other teams who passed on paying that price, we look foolish. If we could have got him for less but got impatient and overpaid, that's a front office failure. And if we use our ammunition now and then a better opportunity emerges this summer when we have more resources available, we'll regret acting too hastily. It's genuinely a no-win situation in some ways. The Kuminga scenario is even more complicated. The upside is astronomical if we can figure out a way to land him without gutting our future. A core of LeBron, AD, and Kuminga with Austin Reeves and the right supporting pieces could legitimately compete for championships beyond this season. But the acquisition cost and the complexity of getting Golden State to cooperate makes it feel like a long shot. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it requires perfect execution and probably some luck. Here's what I keep coming back to. Rob Pelinka hasn't made a panic move yet, and that's actually encouraging. He's been methodical, exploring every option, understanding the market, and refusing to overpay just because there's external pressure to do something. That's the mark of a competent executive. But there's also a point where patience becomes paralysis, where protecting assets becomes an excuse for inaction. We're approaching that inflection point. The next 10 days will define this season one way or another. Either we make a move that genuinely improves this roster and gives us a better chance in the playoffs, or we stand pat and bet on internal development and health being enough. Both paths carry significant risk. Both could work out or blow up spectacularly. And all of us watching from the outside will have opinions about which direction was correct. Before we close this out, I want to hear directly from you. What do you think the Lakers should do in this situation? Should Rob Pelinka bite the bullet and trade that first-round pick for Keon Ellis, even though the price has inflated significantly? Should we keep pushing for Kuminga and try to construct that three-team deal, even if it seems unlikely? Or should we protect our assets, stand pat at the deadline, and save our firepower for the offseason when we'll have more flexibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely want to know how Lakers Nation is feeling about our deadline approach. My personal take, speaking purely as a fan who wants to see this team succeed right now, I'd lean toward making a move if the right opportunity presents itself. We can't waste another year of LeBron and AD playing at this level. But it has to be the right move, not just any move. If Ellis is truly the best available option and Sacramento won't budge on that first-round pick demand, I'd seriously consider it. The defensive upgrade alone could be the difference between a first-round exit and a deep playoff run. And in the Western Conference this year, every marginal improvement matters. If you're not already subscribed to Lakers News Fan Report, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. The trade deadline is approaching fast, things are moving by the hour, and I'll be here bringing you every update, every development, every piece of insider information as it happens. Don't miss a single breakdown. Smash that like button if you found this analysis helpful, share it with every Lakers fan you know, and keep the conversation going in the comments. We're in this together, Lakers Nation. Let's see how Rob Pelinka navigates these final crucial days before February 5th. Until next time, stay locked in and stay ready, because things are about to get very interesting.